Hi, my name is Keith, and I'm known as the Florida Stone Man. And today I'm going to be talking to you all about the danger of fake crystals. Yay! Talking to you about how dangerous fake crystals can be for someone who's trying to spiritually develop. Now, today's topic is actually really important because some people getting fake crystals actually think the fake crystals are helping them. Or some people will find out that they have a fake crystal and not care. And this is actually becoming more and more common. So it's come to my attention that a lot more people are okay with getting fake crystals, or they'll have something resembling that crystal's energy. And that person is just like, they're like, oh, it's cool because it looks like the crystal and it feels like the crystal because it's hard. So I'm going to wear it and it's that crystal anyway. It's for that chakra. I'm like, what you said didn't make sense. Let's just say you're wearing a shirt and it's blue, but you're wearing a shirt that's white and you're calling that shirt blue, and you're like, it's okay because white has the color blue in it. It's like, because white has all the colors in it. What you just said didn't have logic. It didn't really, I mean, you just twisted and bent logic so it didn't make sense. But I see people online defending fake crystal information. And one of the most popular, this is a good example because some crystals are really, really tough to find out if they're fake or real because guess what? When you tumble them and they're all together, some of them really just, they're so convincing because a lot of crystals are naturally extremely beautiful in the ground. And when you tumble them, polish them, and then drill them, and then when you put them on jewelry, it's tough to tell if some crystals are real or fake. I'm able to tell because of the energy they put off. I'm able to tell because I wear every single crystal. I'm able to tell because I've been dealing with crystals for a very long time and I know all their chemical tests, their hardness tests, etc. But when it comes to fake crystals, they don't help you. They don't work because they're fake. I'm going to get to lab man-made crystals, which this is a very interesting subject as well. Okay. One man-made crystal, and people will put a lot of placebo effect into the crystals. A good example is Andorra glass. This is the biggest just pass for a crystal ever. And people will take Andorra glass, so they'll wire wrap it and then sell it for $300. And it's wire wrapped glass, and then when people get it, they touch it and they almost pass out because it's so intense and the energies is so strong. They're putting so much placebo effect into a fake crystal, and it doesn't really help them. You'll see that with fake moldavite as well. So, what's a good example? This is really sad, but people will get fake moldavite and be like, when I got it, this is the same story over and over. When I got it, the energy was so intense, I could barely stand up. I had to like crawl out of bed and it was just so intense and I had to put it outside. I'm like, okay, but what did it do for you? Did you feel like emotions like from the past being released? Did you feel like you were like higher consciousness and etheric vibrations in my external frequency? I'm like, ah! I'm like, tell me what you feel. I feel the immaculate vibrations of a condensation upon my no. I mean, go to Reddit. If you want to see some of these moldavite stories for these people who have fake moldavite, and they'll post a piece of plastic. These moldavite scammers are, because moldavite is basically the asteroid comes out of the sky, hits the ground, or something comes out of the sky, hits the ground. It's a tektite, so it's not technically it's not a meteorite because a meteorite's the actual meteor or asteroid. But the moldavite is a tektite. It's a byproduct of when that is getting melted and heated up into a glass. So it looks like glass. It already looks fake. If this is moldavite, it looks plastic. It looks glass already. These people out here faking it, they don't care. They truly don't care if whether it looks like glass or plastic, and they're flat out just scamming people. So one way you can tell if a fake crystal is fake, a fake moldavite is fake, it's cheap. If you got a $25 moldavite bracelet, I'm here to tell you that's plastic. If you had a giant reaction to it, that's the placebo effect. Why is it dangerous for someone to be selling fake crystals, or for someone to be buying fake crystals and not knowing if they're real or fake, And like, you think, for example, I've had people tell me their stories before they get black tourmaline from me, because I have authentic tourmaline. I price it at the price of high quality authentic tourmaline. Someone's like, well, I got black tourmaline as an entire necklace for $50. Like, but and they're telling me all this stuff they're going through, all their problems, etc. And they're like, well, it just doesn't work. Black tourmaline doesn't work. Crystals don't work. I'm like, okay, what you have is not a crystal. It's not even glass. I mean, sometimes it's not even glass. It's nice if it's glass, because at least if they try to fake it, they use something that's not plastic. But people are running around with plastic like, yeah, this is black tourmaline. If you truly believe that, you're convincing yourself that you're doing your own placebo effect, which there's a small percentage of people who do that. Next, if you truly don't know, get it tested. Do scratch tests. Do different tests. Now, because when you tumble black tourmaline and you polish it into a stone, it looks just like a black stone. People will sell onyx as tourmaline. So that's another thing. People will take a real crystal and they'll sell it as a fake crystal. So they'll take obsidian or onyx and they'll sell it as black tourmaline. And you think what you have, because you feel some energy from it, is black tourmaline, and you're literally depending on its energies to protect you from, what if you're being attacked? Like, what if someone's doing black magic on you and you don't have those energies in your aura? Then someone who sold you something fake or under a different name is ripping you off, and you're getting ripped off out of spiritual protections that you kind of needed at the time. And it can mean the difference between you getting protected from a car accident because someone's doing black magic on you, a family member in your house basically getting really spiritually ill, etc. So the danger of this is you bought a fake crystal because you thought a crystal's, let's just say, and this is wild, this is crazy, because people know for a fact, okay, this size of a crystal is worth $500, but I went on eBay or I went on Etsy and I saw this for $5 or $10 and $20, and they'll buy it like I got it cheap, and it's not working for the person. It's not doing anything. I mean, in the person's head, if the person, and this is extremely common, if the person's so ungrounded, this person has no grounding at all. Their root chakra is just fully unaligned. Like they call it rootless, where the person's basically flying around in their head, making up situations and stories and stuff like that. This person this kind of person, and you might have been that person in the past, you might know someone like this, they'll come in contact with a fake crystal, and they're like, oh, its energies are so immaculate. No, and the person will be overreacting at a crystal, and you'll find out it's not real. Because I've seen this too many times, and I correct people very nicely, extremely nicely. For example, if I know someone who's close to me for a while, and they have fake moldavite, they're like, well, this did this today, this did this today, and I don't even want to say what fake moldavite looks like. It doesn't look right. It has a very specific appearance. It just looks like a raisin. Yeah. It looks like plastic resin raisin, half glass, whatever. The person who faked it did a good job. Not really. And then they wire wrapped it. And it's really tough for me because people put their hopes and their aspirations and their dreams. So I have to be very careful in how I let certain people know, like, hey, your crystal's fake. That has not been helping you. The help that you've been getting is because you changed your mind and that's a placebo effect versus the crystal's actual effects, which, if you already have the mindset for that crystal to work for you, wonderful. But if that crystal is not doing its job because it's fake, it's super dangerous. It's just, the person will rely on, let's just say you're taking because the placebo effect is why people have crystals for so long, think that they work when they're not working, and then they finally get sick of crystals, and they're like, well, these crystals are not really helping me. Like, this crystal is supposed to be protecting me, and I'm getting attacked still, etc. When you basically were ignoring the attacks after you got a fake crystal, and you thought the attacks ended, or you stopped initiating attacks due to whatever placebo effect is in your head, and guess what? The attacks are not occurring because you shut them out mentally, but that doesn't remove the fact that you're getting spiritually attacked. So you use a crystal such as black tourmaline. That black tourmaline blocks out attacks. Let's use another crystal as an example. And I'm moving off the subject of placebo effect and fake crystals. Now, what if you're someone who maybe you don't have the placebo effect and you're really wishing for these crystals to have some kind of effect? And you get a crystal, and I've seen this because people will come to me after they get some kind of like cheap whatever necklace, and they're like, they find out it's not tourmaline, and a year after not being protected, they're like, okay, I just wasted a year, when they could have been actually protected from the black tourmaline. And black tourmaline doesn't just protect from spiritual attack, it protects from EMF as well, which is really, really cool. So when it comes to this, it's really important to make sure you're getting the actual thing if you're relying on the energies for the actual thing. I hope this makes sense to some of you. Because, and I'm going to get into man-made crystals right now, it's really important for when you expect those energies to be there to be there. Same thing for like if you're burning cloves, you can substitute, for example, cinnamon for cloves if you're using something for like attracting your wish to be manifested. But if you take plastic and you burn it, you're burning plastic. If anything is bad for you, it's bad for the mind. So I actually see people defend those 7 chakra bracelets. I'm like, oh Lord, there's seven crystals on the 7 chakra bracelet, and only 3 of them are real, and one of them's died. And I'm just like, well, it's okay because this one represents the crown chakra. I'm like, well, if you're doing it for visualization, I get it because you're trying to learn about the chakras. Maybe that can help you like that. But just know that real crystals do real things. Fake crystals don't do real things. So when people get bent out of shape over, oh, crystals don't work. Well, you don't have a crystal. You went to Five Below, and now you're getting what Five Below sells as a crystal. You're not fooling. I mean, they're fooling people sometimes. Now there's the next thing. Some people won't even have something that looks fake. This is completely crazy too, because I have seen this. I'm not sure where labs are located, but there are certain labs that can replicate the look of crystals very convincingly. If you don't believe me, get a crystal off of eBay. eBay specifically. Whatever sellers on eBay, they're very convincing. So convincing to the point where I took selenite, for example. I took a real strand of selenite and a fake strand of selenite, and I held them up next to each other. And I asked people on the TikTok live, I'm like, there's hundreds and hundreds of people on there. I'm like, which one's real and which one's fake? No one could tell. Absolutely no one can tell. There are some people who were able to tell, but even then, they were, just by looking at it, they were not able to fully just discern that. Now, when it comes to that, yeah, its energies will tell it apart, but you have to be experienced with that. When it comes to a crystal such as selenite, if you're wearing selenite for over a year and it doesn't scratch or turn brown, that's a red flag. That's a red flag. Look up the chemical tests for selenite. It should not do that. It should not stay perfectly intact, not break, not chip, not get gunky at all, because selenite's selenite. Look at the selenite in the background here. I've had that for a long time, and it's getting kind of brown just because of the air around it. That's how selenite is. If there's moisture, it's going to pick up on the moisture. But if it's perfectly intact, then it's not selenite. Which, I have seen some fake tiger eye. It's not common to fake tiger eye because tiger eye is a common crystal. To get really, really, really good tiger eye and have every bead on your tiger eye, which I do that on my website, floridastoneman.com. So I will only use the flashy pieces of tiger eye on my necklaces. And it looks wonderful. It looks amazing. It looks awesome, but it's real tiger eye. Certain labs will just mimic the flashy pieces of tiger eye. And it'll look like tiger eye, but it doesn't do anything like tiger eye. Glass does have energy, so when you guys are buying glass and you feel the glass and you feel that it's warm, the glass is warm because glass holds energy. If you don't believe this, go to a window of a small business, a business, etc. Just feel the glass of the window. Make sure you're not leaving a bunch of fingerprints, but feel the glass of a window. Close your eyes, and this is a clairtangency gift test, by the way. So touch the glass in the window and just feel its energies. See what words pop in your head. See what images and pictures pop in your head. You're gonna see stuff. You're gonna feel stuff. You're gonna get some sensations if that's one of your gifts, which most people have that gift and don't even know it. Clairtangency. Now go to another business, feel it. You're gonna feel differences in all the glass. Same thing with fake crystals that are glass, or crystals being passed off as certain crystals, which they're getting very convincing. Like they're getting scarily convincing. Like I mean, some crystals, they'll be so fake looking to the point where, like, you know it's fake. Like, that crystal's not from the ground. And there's other crystals, such as fake malachite actually is getting popular now. So people are now getting okay with getting fake malachite. Oh, that's reconstituted malachite. Phalakite. I'm going to make a new name for that one. Because it used to be a thing as to where people used to see that fake malachite and be like, okay, it's cheap. It looks like malachite. It actually doesn't even look like malachite, but people are buying it because people think, oh, it can do something like malachite. It can engage transformation. Or you can actually get malachite and engage transformation based on the crystal's energy versus it looking like the crystal and representing the crystal. Just know the two apart. Don't fool yourself. Real crystals do real things. If you take black tourmaline and you put it in front of a TV, it's going to block the EMF of a TV. If you take glass and you're like, oh, well, it's kind of like black tourmaline, or it's a black tourmaline, it replicates black tourmaline. No, it doesn't. Not on a physical level, not on a spiritual level. Now, I'm going to talk about man-made crystals. This is super interesting now. This is super, super interesting. For man-made crystals, such as the auras, like rose quartz aura, titanium aura, angel aura, those crystals are strong. But they're a product of alchemy. It's not a Mother Nature product. It's a product of alchemy. It has a very specific intention as to, hey, this has been made by man to put off a certain energy. Now, if there's a crystal in a lab, such as a sapphire, for example, man-made sapphires can be powerful, but they don't hold that Mother Nature element, the millions of years element in a gemstone that has been made overnight by a crystal. For example, a fake diamond will not connect you to the heavens the same way a natural diamond will. Why is that? It's because the creator made that in the ground over time. That has been pressured with millions of years of energy in there. Making something that takes patience, time, has been mined by someone, has been drilled by someone versus, okay, this has gone through a laboratory in a day, or in 2 days, or in 3 days. And the person making it doesn't really care. It has less value energetically compared to a natural diamond. But it, like I said, there are certain man-made crystals that still have power. I'm going to give you guys an example in this video because I've been studying these. Opalite, for my experience, opalite's just glass. Like, the energies are just like glass. Goldstone, interestingly enough, I don't know why, it has like a different element, and I think the reason Goldstone kind of has a different energetic element is because man put a very certain intention into something about it when they were making it. I can't figure out the reason with Goldstone yet because I haven't meditated with it enough. I don't like to get too close to the man-made crystals. I like Mother Nature-made crystals, the ones that God has put in the ground for us. Lab-made tanzanite does not have the energies of regular tanzanite. It doesn't. It's like a fraction, if that makes sense. You're still getting a fraction of its energies, but it's nothing compared to the Mother Nature element. And remember, the ground of the environment actually stains the energy of the stone. The element of the Congo, the energies of the Congo for malachite. Where's my malachite? For malachite, I can actually scroll to a crystal on my own to teach you about it. Oh, how cool is that? There's the malachite. So malachite, that piece of malachite is from the Congo. A whole bunch of history occurred in the Congo. The people of the Congo are very fiery, passionate, willing to defend what's theirs. That energy, even if it's a mile away, a few miles away, will go into the gemstone and help its evolution of energy-changing properties. And yes, malachite is still an energy-evolving gemstone. It keeps turning into something new. And it's doing it very intensely. But when it comes to other man-made gemstones, I can't name all of them. The Angel Aura, Aqua Aura, those are pretty strong. They're good for luck. Protection, too. What else? I'm not missing anything. Oh, this is a really, really good example. I said I was going to show you guys. I have this nearby next to a Himalayan salt lamp because the Himalayan salt lamp energy literally bounces. I mean, the energy, too, but the color of the Himalayan salt lamp It is very beautiful. This is citrine. And this is, people are like, ah! Ah! It's heat-baked amethyst. I keep this as a reminder because it's beautiful. It's amethyst that has been put in a kiln. A kiln, if I'm saying that word correctly. So I keep this because I put this on my TikTok to teach people about it. Basically, what's the difference between this and, wish I had my other piece of, this is Hessonite garnet. I actually had a piece of citrine that was nearby that I was going to put next to it. So basically, you put this in an oven, it'll look like that. But what does this do energetically? So basically, amethyst in the ground is amethyst in the ground. But when you take it out and then you, let me use another example. So this used to be amethyst. Amethyst, I wish I had my other pieces on hand. I'm not going to get up on my video to walk away and look for pieces, but when it comes to amethyst in the ground, it turns to citrine because Mother Nature heats it up. But that's a natural process. So there's many different shades and colors of citrine. Citrine can be easily faked just because there's so many different kinds. And there's literally a rainbow of citrine. People are like, oh, citrine's this color. No, it's not. Citrine has a billion different colors. If you know what actual citrine looks like on the ground, it's wild because it could just be in so many different colors. Citrine can look clear. I'm actually going to show you a piece of my citrine that I have on right now. I'm going to scroll to my citrine. This is a wonderful teaching aid. So this is citrine. It looks clear. Some citrine literally is almost clear. Now, what is this? This is amethyst that has been heat baked by man, which it still has the properties of a real gemstone, but it's been sped up by man. So it's kind of like 50-50. So it does attract wealth. It does attract money. It does bring happiness, but it does so in a very fiery / masculine element as to where natural citrine has been made heated up slowly with time, and it has more of a feminine element. It has more of a feminine masculine than a masculine feminine, if that makes sense. More so feminine energy. And it's very soft. The energies of it are a lot softer, a lot more gentle. That's why one of the reasons why natural citrine is so popular. This is popular too. Just when you get it, just know that men did something with it for it to be like this. But it's still doing something because Mother Nature still did make it in the ground. Now, if you have literally a piece of coal and you turn it into a diamond from a laboratory, that's fully man-made. This is not fully man-made. This has been is man-edited. Let's just say that. So man-edited crystals are different. They can get kind of confusing. I mainly teach about real crystals. I don't even dive into the opalites and man-made like goldstone and stuff like that because why dive into that when there's so many real crystals out there? Let me talk about some crystals on my arm. Chrysoprase, green opal, green aventurine, turquoise. All these different crystals I'll be teaching about. K2, Larimar, Azamar, Smithsonian. I can't say some of the crystals' names because, like, you wonder who named these crystals. But the whole point of this video is real crystals do real things. When people buy cheap crystals and they get flat out energetically and financially ripped off because they're getting something that looks like the crystal or could be the crystal or kind of resembles it. And you have to be careful with some of these crystal places too. Because one thing that I have seen a lot of is you'll find a legitimate crystal place. They'll sell 90% of what they have legitimate. So like, and you're going to be like, oh, I can trust this place. And I've seen this. And it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. There's some vendors who used to do that a long time ago when I first started off. They would sell 90% of the stuff real. And every now and then, when you're getting something from that, like let's just say you go to a crystal shop on the side of the road. They have 90% real crystals. But they still have 10% of fake crystals. Is that something you're going to take a chance with? Is that something, like, because you might be getting a fake crystal just because they have some fake crystals, but it's mostly real. Are you going to take that chance? An entire 2 years goes by, 3 years goes by, and you rely on something you thought was black tourmaline for protection, but it's not tourmaline. Guess what? That's so many attacks, spiritual attacks. Any kind of problems you've been having could have just been blocked off by the black tourmaline. But you took a chance with something that was cheap and could have been a crystal. It's like black tourmaline. It's close to it. No. Is a black shirt close to a white t-shirt? No. So that's the difference between real and fake crystals. You're getting the real deal or you're not. It's very simple. With man-made crystals, message me on Instagram or message in the comment section. If you're like, okay, I have this crystal, is it putting off a certain energy? Some man-made crystals, like when man, and it depends how they replicated it too. So if they're sloppy and they replicated like let's just say some star sapphires are different than other star sapphires from what I've seen. And star sapphire is, and they have star ruby, there's diopside. So some diopsides still put off a good energy, even though it was made in the lab, and you can still use it for its purpose. But it doesn't put it off like a natural diopside, for example. It's not as strong, it's not as potent, it doesn't go all out, it just goes partially out. But other pieces will be a little more than others. It's kind of confusing. I would stick to the more of the natural crystals, because I get requested a lot, what's it called? I forget the name of it. There's different star crystals. I don't really study the star crystals. I used to have star ruby that was natural, but that goes beyond the point. Get real crystals, guys. Don't sell yourself short. Don't get a piece of glass and be like, well, the energies are immaculate. If you want to see some of that, on Etsy, there's 500 reviews on a Moldavite bracelet for $25, and everyone's telling their stories about, I got this crystal, and my life changed. I started, I should have pulled up a story, but it's really disappointing because you're looking at a bunch of things, like stories that you just know are not from the Moldavite, because it's plastic. It's not. There's Moldavite that's not. Like, to get a Moldavite bracelet for $25 is foolish. Like, you're not going to get that. It's like trying to get a diamond at the dollar store and being surprised when the diamond's not real. This is a very important topic, and this is a trigger topic too, because you're telling me this is not turquoise. In my heart, I feel like it's turquoise. It's dihalite. It's not doing what turquoise does. Okay. If you have any questions, ask in the comment section. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.